Let's talk about it all with presidential candidate Senator Marco Rubio. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Alisyn.
Okay, so pundits have a lot of different descriptions about last night. Some are calling it rowdy, some raucous, some say it was at times raunchy. How do you describe what happened last night?
Well, I think it's par for the course in this very unusual election. Look, I go into these debates and I hope every question is a policy question. It hasn't been that way because Donald Trump has been perhaps the most vulgar, no, I don't think perhaps, the most vulgar person to ever aspire to the presidency in terms of how he's carried out his candidacy. And it's cut into a lot of these debates and some of the things that are asked about. I mean, and that's fine. I'm not complaining. It is what it is about what we get asked in these debates. But the majority of the questions had something to do with he said or she said. I would love to have a policy debate, and I think that's important. We're talking about the presidency of the United States here. And if you saw in that exchange, Donald Trump did not give a policy answer. He immediately retorted to attacking me personally. And I think it's come a point now. Voters deserve better than what they're getting out of these debates and out of this campaign.
I mean, of course, you've taken a page from Donald Trump's playbook. You've talked about his little hands. And last night, that came up. He talked about his endowment, and I don't mean to his alma mater. So let me play that moment for you.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just play it.
He's really not that much of a lightweight. And as far as, and I have to say this, he hit my hands. Nobody has ever hit my hands. I've never heard of this one. Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee.
Senator, what went through your head at that moment?
Well, I mean, nothing surprises us anymore. This man is, as I told you, I mean, he's injected a level of vulgarity into the political discourse that we've never seen. And as far as, you know, what I said something, first of all, I didn't say what he's saying, and I said it one time. He's personally attacked the disabled, journalists, I mean, everyone, basically. There is no one who he has not personally attacked, sometimes in the most vulgar ways. But again, that's not what I want my campaign to be about. It's not what my campaign is about. I'm out there every day talking about the future of America, outlining real plans, and by the way, an optimistic vision of the future. My campaign is not doom and gloom. It is about how things can be better if we do a certain set of things. And that's what I want the Republican Party to be about, the conservative movement to be about, and ultimately what our next president should be about. And I'm asking everyone to join our efforts at marcorubio.com so we can put a stop to this ridiculousness and rally the party and offer a clear alternative for the American people.
And yet, Senator, at the end of the night last night, you reiterated a pledge to support the GOP nominee, whoever that person is. So this man, Donald Trump, whom you've called vulgar, a con artist, a liar, bad for American workers, among other things, how can you support, if he is all those things, you say, how could you support him for president?
And that's the quandary we find ourselves in, because the alternative is Hillary Clinton, who from a policy perspective, I believe is completely unqualified and would be bad for the country. And that's the quandary I'm trying to avoid the Republican Party having to face. I don't want us to have a nominee that people have to make up an excuse why they're voting for or hold their nose and vote for. I want us to have a nominee that we're excited about. If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, we are going to have a party that's divided. We're going to have a party that has to somehow justify to itself why it's voting for this man. I think it's hard to win an election with a nominee like that. The fact people even ask that question should be indicative of how bad his nomination would be. Luckily, I believe I'm going to be the nominee. It is a tough road. I am most certainly an underdog. I'll have to fight hard like I have my whole life to move ahead and be successful. But I think if people want to avoid having to make that awful choice of whether you hold your nose and vote for someone because you can't vote for Hillary Clinton, you want to avoid that, then rally around our campaign. I am the only one that can unite this party and grow it. Go to marcorubio.com and join our efforts.
Senator, let's talk about the road ahead for you and exactly how you see it playing out, because more and more analysts are saying that the possibility of a brokered convention is real. I know that you're putting a lot of stock and energy into your home state of Florida. So let's say that you win Florida. Let's say John Kasich wins Ohio, where he's putting a lot of energy. Ted Cruz has already won 3 or 4 states. Donald Trump has obviously won more than a handful. Are you planning on a brokered convention? Is that the scenario?
No, I don't think that needs to be the scenario. First of all, brokered convention implies some backroom deal where someone who's not even on the ballot gets pushed in. I don't think that's going to happen at all. It is possible that no single candidate has 1,237 delegates, which is what you need to be the nominee. I think that's true for Donald Trump. His road to that number is hard. Ted Cruz's is hard. Mine is hard. But we'll see how this plays out. It's been a very unusual election. We're going to continue to work hard. Our goal is to be the nominee outright, and there's a path to that, although a difficult one.
What is the path? I mean,
and this will take some twists and turns along the way.
Just explain the math to us, Senator. What is the path to that for you to be the nominee, if not for a brokered convention?
Well, our path, obviously, is to go into the convention with the most number of delegates of anybody on the ballot. And we have a path to doing that. And it'll take a while. And it may take all 50 states, as I've said that, to get to that point. And I hope that'll be over 1,237. It won't be easy, but it won't be easy for anyone at this point. And, you know, I'm not a political analyst. Other people have done the numbers on this, and they can show it to you. But not even Donald Trump has a clear path to 1,237.
Right, but your internal
I think it's important for us to realize that.
I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but beyond Florida, what state are you banking on?
You know, I think you can ask that of anyone in this race. We're going to compete everywhere we can. We have a national campaign. We have a campaign that's competing in Hawaii. We're competing in Idaho. We're competing in Kansas. We're competing in Florida and Louisiana. I mean, we are working everywhere in a multi-level. We're not a regionalized campaign. We haven't put all our eggs in one basket. Ted Cruz did that. He said he was going to sew up the nomination on Super Tuesday. I ended up beating him in Virginia, beating him in Georgia, you know, beating him across the South in a number of different places on Super Tuesday. So we're not a campaign that's ever said, here's where we're going to wrap it up. We have prepared the entire time for the most unusual primary in my lifetime, and that's what we're going to continue towards working on, is ensuring that we're our nominee, no matter how long and how hard it is.
Senator Marco Rubio, we appreciate you taking the time this morning to be on New Day. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, great to talk to you.